So with that, we'll get started. Of course, feel free if you want your cameras off since we're recording. But welcome to our advisor mentor webinar, second one of the spring season, but this will be our final one before launch weekend. So let's see that. So quick overview. It's not a lot of slides to go through today, but I'm sure there will be a few discussion points where you guys would like to get some clarification or just items to be aware of. So we'll start off with a little bit of the schedule, the hotel shipping, registration, so we'll sort of leading us through the weekend. All right, so as you guys know, this is the weekend we've all been working towards for the past few months. So we've had a few slight schedule adjustments, but I think we are close to final with it. So when you guys arrive on Friday, we will start with our normal welcome breakfast and competition kickoff. The morning following that, we will have the motor build and avionics workshops. Tripoli will be doing their final safety inspections. At lunchtime, I will drag all of you, all of the advisors and mentors away. The judges will be sort of stalking us. They have a meeting at the same time. So the mentors, I know a few of you are mixed in today. If you are joining us for launch weekend, you are welcome to join for the advisor mentor luncheon. But if you guys are also going to cross support, which we would be ever so thankful for, with other teams throughout the weekend, you may want to join Mark for their lunch, as they'll be going through some of those details and logistics that Friday. But we're all going to the same area, so if you guys want to make that decision as we're walking over, you're more than welcome to do that then. But Mark will have more information that he'll share with the mentor specifically between now and then. When we return from lunch, we'll have a few breakout sessions, and then that'll give some time for the judges to do a rocket review with the teams all out of the main area. So we have 4 breakout sessions planned. One is from an alumni, sort of giving a little talk about his journey. Blue Origin will have a session. Uh, we're pulling together a judges panel, and then we'll have a little, I believe it'll be a Zoom session talking about OSTEM internships. So when those breakout sessions are done, that'll be around 2:30, 3 o'clock. We'll have a break until 5. So if teams want to get back to the hotel, change, freshen up for the presentations that evening, that's a perfect time to do it. When you guys return at 5, we'll have the rocket fair. That'll go from 5 to 6. At 6 o'clock, there's another small break interjected in there. It's only because we need to do a room transition. So we have to break apart the main room that we're in, get a wall pulled in. So we'll have about a 20-minute break there, and then we'll split into the 3 rooms for the oral presentations. With that, we would like to ask that the team send in their PowerPoints for the launch weekend presentations. Send it in by Monday. There's also an extra item we have. We'll be sending out a template either today or tomorrow to the team leads and all of yourselves for the team to build up. It'll be pretty much like 2 pages that'll just give like a overview of the rocket. We had them last year, sort of like a quick 1-pager. So as people are going around during the rocket fair or when the judges are perusing the rockets, it gives an opportunity to provide some details and aspects. So like what challenge components, so what were the different sensors that you picked, what were the microcontrollers they're using, what are the parameters of the rocket. So pretty standard details that they've been regurgitating to us over and over. But for anyone that's fresh and hasn't been working with the teams, this will give them a chance to walk up to the table and still understand the rocket. All right. So after that full day, we will have another one on Saturday. We will start out at Richard Bong Recreational Area. We will So anyone that is coming out extra early to help us set up, we will be starting to set up the site at 6:30. Everyone will be coming out to join us around 7:30. So, yes, Melanie?
Sorry. Um, Madeline, our team lead, just pointed out that you've asked that every person on our team has to participate in the oral presentation. That was
Oh,
just in your message that came out 10 minutes ago.
I will reread that.
Each person on your team should participate in the presentation. Um, it's just we have
Under,
15
yeah.
kids, so it's going to be a
So,
lot.
well, Melanie, let me say that that guidance does not apply to all teams, especially yours.
Okay.
You have a super huge team. Um,
Just train them to say one word at a time and they go through stepping each word.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
let's say that that was more guidance for our teams from in the past where they've had, 6 members or less, and then it's like one person giving the entire presentation and then they're standing there. So it's a
Okay,
matter of just make sure that people are involved and engaged, participating in it. Melanie, I know
right.
your team was dividing and conquering, so I know like some of your students were like focused exclusively on like outreach. So
Yeah.
like I know it's like you guys are probably going to want to like piecemeal the presentation or work through that.
It's the team leads or the sub team leads that are actually doing the presentation. So she just was worried that you wanted all 15 of them up there, but
Yeah, that
uh,
might be a little trickier.
yeah. Okay. So there's about 7 or 8 of them as team lead or sub team leads. So
Yeah, and that'll, considering that the presentation time is like about 10 minutes a team,
right.
if you had all 15, we would never finish.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yep. Let's see. So, and then of course we'll be at the launch site. We will have more details about that as we get further in the presentation. And then we should be finishing up there before 3. And then again, we'll have a little bit of time for teams to go back to the hotels, freshen up. We will be returning to the Carthage. Our closing ceremony starts at 6, so you may want to be there about 5:30 or so. They're planning between 5:30 and 6 to arrive back at the college. Right. So, hotels. I know this was in that email that just went out. So our Mars teams are at the Stella Hotel. The Moon and Gateway teams will be at the Kenosha Wyndham Garden Harborside. As the teams are shipping, it's easier to ship to the hotels than it is to ship to the school. So that's what we would recommend is just send to the hotels. Both hotels are aware and they're looking out for them. And of course, as you guys have already known, each team gets 3 rooms for 3 nights covered by us. Any extra ones, you guys would have to cover that through your own schools or however. Um, and as we don't have any dedicated work time, there is some workspace available at each hotel for small work. Of course, be mindful of the spaces. We've been warned before about bringing food and drink and then causing messes. And then, of course, a reminder, please do not paint rockets indoors. And for a small aside, please be mindful of what your team may look like if they're outside of the hotel behind it at like 11 at night spray painting the rocket. It may look odd to a passerby. Not saying that we haven't been called by a hotel about that before. You guys might have worried some of the local Kenosha residents. So, registration. So we will have early registration on Thursday from 3 to 5, and then on Friday morning from 7 to 8. So we've had maps of the campus sent out. So in case you guys need any clarification for any of the maps or if any of that, please reach out to Connie or myself. We'll make sure that you're squared away. So as we said, uh, when we start off on Friday, we'll have the welcome breakfast. The breakfast buffet will start open at 7. The opening ceremony will begin at 8. And then During that, we will have a few minutes per team to do introductions. I know for our larger teams, it'll be a little trickier, but to sort of work through this, I think the best method we can do is if we could ask the team leads to come up and do an introduction for each of their teams. We'll have a slide deck up with the team photo, and then they can go through and we can have the names on the slide if you would like. Otherwise, if you guys would just like to announce them. And we'll have it done by group. So all the Mars teams come up at once. We'll go through all the introductions, then we'll do the moon and then gateway, or whichever order we do. All right. And as we close out the opening ceremony, we will have an icebreaker sort of just to get everyone feeling a little silly and fun and just remember that this is supposed to be a fun event. Fingers crossed there are no issues. And we hope to see Queens here to lead us through a fun activity. If not, we have a plan and we will give you more details when we get to the opening ceremony. We're just crossing our fingers, hoping there's no issues for Queens to arrive. Right. So, launch operations. So Frank gave us a nice presentation back on April 8th. We went through pretty much what to expect on launch day. We recommend that teams go back and review it if they didn't watch it then, but it'll definitely be helpful to for their preparations. Right. So mentors. So again, sort of reiterating, any rooms beyond the 3 rooms, 3 days that we cover has to be handled by the team. But any mentors that are joining us, please make sure that you have a media release on file with us. And then, of course, if you're joining, because I know that some of the lodging lists uh, didn't seem to capture if the mentor was joining or not. If a mentor is going to be joining, but you guys just didn't include them on the list, please just email us. Give us that way we can have an idea of how many mentors to expect throughout the weekend. Because your mentors are a huge asset. And even with the team that we have, it's always helpful for a few extra set of hands. We will have 21 FNL teams to work through, and then there's CRL as well, but we're just still trying to worry about the 21 that we're going to be working through. Right.
If I could follow on that. So I reached out to a number of you mentors on the call. I see you guys all on the call. That's for different reasons than Rob and Connie would want to know why, or if the mentors are in attendance. So also just follow up with Rob and Connie as well to let them know you will be attending.
Yep. So, and Mark, I think this was one of the slides we were going to have you jump in on.
Sure. So again, just following up, I've reached out, I believe, to most of the mentors. Just to give you some stats, I believe we'll have 8 mentors on launch weekend out of 21 teams. So we're going to kind of rely on the 8 experienced rocketry mentors. You guys are all level 2, some of you level 3, to help us out to make sure that the other what is that, 13 teams also have support on launch weekend and are going to have safe, successful flights. So on Friday this year, and we did this last year, we've done this for a number of years now. I don't believe we asked for mentor support though in the previous years. We have an altimeter workshop or avionics workshop where we just want to inspect, every team's altimeter avionics base setup, make sure their altimeters are programmed correctly, make sure the circuits are independent. Standard stuff that most of you experienced rocketry guys should know. So I've reached out. I will provide more information regarding that workshop prior to launch weekend in an email, just kind of giving an overview of what's expected. And then that morning, Friday morning during the breakfast, I'll kind of round everyone up who's going to be helping with that. And we'll go camp out in the room there as the teams come in. And that goes for all teams. That's Moon, Mars, and Gateway. So, regardless which division you're in, we'll get you to help, inspect all the altimeters for all the teams. And then this year as well, Saturday, again, in previous years, we've had, some of the mentors have helped out in the pit area. This year, we're going to make it a little more formal. We're going to ask the mentors again to help out in the pit area for pad prep or pit prep area, distributing charges, helping wire charges, helping the teams prep motors, and getting them all checked out for a safe flight. And again, we'll meet on Friday to go over those details for Saturday. We'll probably discuss some of that at the judges' meeting on Friday, the judges' lunch. So, make your choice wisely if you want to come to the judges' lunch and get that information, or we'll meet up later on Friday sometime to discuss Saturday expectations. And on Saturday, you'll be split up by your division. So the Moon division is run by Brittany. Brittany will contact the Moon mentors, and I will reach out and work with the Mars mentors. Unfortunately, we don't have any Gateway mentors this year. So we'll be relying on some of the Moon and Mars mentors to go over and help the Gateway teams on Saturday when we get there. That's all I got for that. Any questions? I think we have 7 mentors on the call, so that's great. Glad you guys are here.
All right. So, launch date expectations. So as we said, the launch site will open at 7:30. We will have a kickoff safety meeting at the RSO table at 8 a.m. And then following the meeting, we'll do a big group photo. So those are the giant ones you've been seeing under the, got any questions at the end of the presentations? So we'll make a new one of those. And of course, we will have various media crew running around. So we have one from Carthage, and then we do have a team of people that'll be going around filming. So just be mindful of them. They'll try to not be in your way, but I'm sure for some shots they'll get up close. Let's see. And on launch day, we would ask that you all wear your FNL t-shirts, help identify and sort of show support. We will have lanyards to identify anyone who is not a TRA NAR member, and then those individuals can't go out to the pads. So if you want to join your team, just make sure you have that. And make sure that Connie is updated, that have your membership number on file. When the teams are going to the pad, it's generally just 3 per team. So advisor 2 students or mentor 2 students. And then, of course, anyone who's underage must be accompanied by a TRA NAR member of the same motor impulse. I don't believe we have anyone underage this year. Ooh. Melanie, question for the color of the shirt. This year we're going with red. I think it's maybe a darker burgundy, but it should be nice. All right. And then, of course, certification launches are allowed, but it's only after a team completes the competition launch. So competition launches first, they're the other priority. And then if time permits, we may allow them. Otherwise, Sunday is the day that we're planning for any of those. And of course, a big thing that was stressed during the launch operations webinar, teams must be cleared by the pit crew before moving over to see Frank. So when they're cleared by the pit crew, the launch card that they'll have, Mark, Brittany, or Aaron, the 3 challenge leads, they will have stickers to put on the back of it, and that'll let Frank's team know that, the rocket is allowed to be over at his area, moving on to the next stage.
And there's kind of a no man's land between pit and RSO where incidents can and will happen. And that's the point of that sticker, to make sure that someone's been checked out before they go to that no man's land before RSO. So we don't want anything happening in that area between pit and RSO.
We're trying to be very careful about any electronics being armed before getting to the launch pad.
So make sure to tell your teams to get checked out before they go over, or you may be doing the checkout yourself. So make sure the teams get checked out, get that sticker.
Right. And to help, sort of helps explain that a little bit. So our launch site, we have all of this fun gets to be set up. So that's where you guys are coming an hour after us. But this is at no man's land, the little, hold on. that little cross pathway over. Frank will be on the going with south. I can't remember. South side of the little creek that we have. He will be over here with the rest of his Tripoli team. Mark, Brittany, and Aaron will be floating in the pit area that are just north of that. Any questions so far? So we will have the tables identified. We'll have little signs on them as you guys arrive. I'll try to have a map created so if teams are trying to figure out where they're supposed to be. It may make it a little easier, but again, it's only these tables, so shouldn't be too hard. Right. I know you guys are tired of hearing this. Tripoli, if you don't have your membership with Tripoli or NAR, please make sure that you have reactivated it before it's coming to launch weekend. Otherwise, you may have to do it morning of. But it is sort of to help ensure we have insurance coverage for all of our guests and participants. Let's see. And of course, the membership costs are able to be reimbursed out of the team awards. So it's something that all the team could have factored in. We were expecting them to. So again, just make sure Connie is updated on all of your membership numbers. Right. So following a successful launch, before that you guys leave, you guys will have jump drives provided to you with registration. So that jump drive is going to be taking your altimeter data. If you're able to pull all the data back, and you want to provide a copy, then you can. But we're asking specifically for the altimeter data from your flights. That way we can calculate that before the awards banquet in the evening. So make sure you copy it onto the jump drive, hand it either to your challenge lead or to one of the WSGC team members that are floating around. So likely we'll have a little box set up at the WSGC table where they can be returned, but either way. And then of course, the next thing that teams will be working on is the post-launch assessment report. Again, Moon, Mars requirement, not Gateway, but those will be due on the 12th. Let's see. Oops. Awards. Most of our awards are still intact. We've had to make some adjustments. Next Step Award had to be pulled for this year, and the VIP trip to Kennedy that is tied to the grand prize. That's just some extra details are being finalized with that, but we are hoping that we will be able to have those announced and still have the VIP trip in likely early August. And of course, the teams, there are 2 awards that the teams will be voting on. We will have the voting forms in their registration packets when they arrive. It's for the aesthetic and team spirit. I meant to have the other one bolded, but that'll be corrected when it's posted on the website. All right. For our advisors, just a reminder, the stipend breakout was 500 for on-campus activities, 500 for competition weekend. So generally the advisor is joining with that. You may split the stipend if you had co-advisors, but you just need to advise us of how you want that split. And then anyone who is receiving the stipend, we need to have the media release and W-9 on file. I'm pretty sure we have most of them. I know Connie's been following up this week with any files that are missing from each team.
Can we address Andrea's question?
Yeah, I was just seeing that. So Andrea
We've,
asked, can we nominate for team lead? So Mark?
we've never had that question before, Andrea. It's a good question, but usually we select it amongst like the judges and our admin team, because those are the individuals who kind of get to see everyone, how they perform. I understand, from your perspective or a team perspective, right? You may, have a team lead that's been excelling, but you don't have that comparison to other team leads. So I don't know unless Rob wants to take something into consideration.
Yeah, Andrew, that covered, or did you want to like expound on that? You can jump off of mute if you'd like.
No, that's just a question. Thank you.
No worries. Right. Reimbursements. Um, I think it's about half the teams have submitted at least one, but just remember your reimbursement requests are going to be due on May 12th. Please try to have them in as close to then as possible. I understand sometimes you have to work through your school to coordinate different aspects of it, but just please be in contact with us. Keep us appraised of all of that. If you're running into any issues, please reach out. If you want, we can set up office hour time. Uh, that block is, I will make sure that block is extended past the competition, but I'm here as a resource to help you guys through that. So I know sometimes the forms can be a little crazy as we're trying to navigate them. Or feel free if you want to pull me aside during launch weekend and just be like, okay, this is not making any sense. So that's another option as well. So the reimbursements, so depending on how you submitted that to us, will determine how we can reimburse back. So if you indicated that all the reimbursements are going through the school, and then you're sending me individual reimbursement forms from your team members, I can't process it until I get an updated award letter. So just keep in mind, like, I just need to follow that. I don't mind switching routes. I just need the updated letter to match however we're approaching it. Reimbursements, now reimbursing to the students, if you guys want to go that route, is fine. They do not need W-9s from them unless they're receiving like an award or stipend of some sort from us. Reimbursements don't count against that. So just something to keep in mind. Right. So office hours are still available. I encourage anyone to make use of them if they need. And then, of course, we will have plenty more emails coming and going as we get through the launch weekend. But please just help us respond as you can. Let's see. I can try to pull up. There we go. I think that was the last major one. So with that, questions?
Rob, can I just make a note? We are still missing several TRA membership spreadsheets from teams. So if you received an email from me yesterday, please get that to me as soon as possible.
I would like to congratulate Andrea on taking on the seminars at TRA Tech this year at LDRS, representing the FNL STEM system. Congratulations. Thanks, Andrea.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Andrea.
I do have a question.
Mhm.
We noticed that in the team roster and lodging list form, one of the last names has a typo. Do we need to resubmit this, or it doesn't really matter, or do you use this roster to create certificates or something?
I believe that we normally pull from the application and that they've done online with us, more so than the other. I think it's more of it helps us identify which names we're using from that. But Connie, would you like to?
Yeah, Palva, if you could just email me the name that is spelled incorrectly, that would be helpful so we can double check.
Excellent. I can do that. Thank you.
No other questions? Oh, Melanie?
Do you have a number of people who are coming just for our icebreaker and our possible things we're handing out?
Connie, do you have I know that number's been floating with the new lodging list that everyone's sending in.
Just an estimate, like
The number that will be at the breakfast, is that your question?
yeah, I think that's
Let me look really quick and then I will message you.
okay. Thanks.
Just a little tricky. I have like too many windows open to navigate to it. No other questions in the meantime? Okay.
Hi, Rob. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, this is Carson with NAU. I was just wondering, how's the weather been out there? Is it been warming up some, or what are we expecting for next week?
Let's see.
One day is 40 and the next day is 70. So I just think you guys should check your app before you pack.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I always tell the students some of the times we've gone out, it snowed, or sometimes it's like 75 and wear t-shirts and shorts. So I guess we'll
So
expect the normal Kenosha weather to occur then.
it's a little
Yeah.
far out because it can change, but as of right now on weather.com, it's looking to be about 60 degrees, partly cloudy, and winds about 10 to 12 miles an hour. Fingers crossed it stays like that. Sunday has AM showers, so hopefully the
Stop,
rain.
stop it, Rob.
Frank, it's way too far out to tell, right?
That's right. I was going to remind you this afternoon, Connie, don't say anything Monday about the forecast on Friday or Saturday. Wait till like Wednesday or Thursday,
That's
please.
why I said just check your app because who knows.
Thankfully, it's been getting warmer. That's what I'm been happy about. Pretty much short weather now.
Cool.
And
I'm
if you guys are
projecting,
checked,
I'm projecting a real nice day, so it's going to be nice. All right.
I will admit, there is going to be a difference between if you're checking for Kenosha and if you're checking Kansasville. So Kansasville is where the launch site is, the city the launch site is in. So it might provide a little bit more accurate as you guys are checking and preparing. Melanie?
I'm just wondering if I can stay on with Frank. Like we have kids who are wanting to do their certification flights. So I'm wanting to just chat with Frank about that.
Okay.
All right. Well, if there are no other questions, thank you all for joining us, and we look forward to your teams joining us next week. Almost there.
That is a good point, Melanie. And it's in the email that came out as well. If you know that somebody on your team is certifying, we need those numbers so that Frank has enough motors. So send me a quick email if you have someone that's planning to certify.